Today is the day, the most important trading day of our entire lives, apparently, or at least until the next most important trading day. But yes, there is some important stuff going down tonight, specifically Nvidia earnings call, and it really does feel as such that Nvidia is holding up the entire global stock market. I want to let you know everything you need to know. In this right now, you will know everything to look for, all the expectations, and I also want to cover how a major Nvidia bull by the name of Gene Munster just came out with an urgent warning. I want to explain why he said it, what he said, what it means, and give you my thoughts on it, on top of everything else you should be looking for when it comes to Nvidia. So first of all, is this being overstated? This actually is going to be a really big deal. I mean, it's getting to the point that people are setting up watch parties, in-person watch parties. So yes, there's even cultural relevance outside of the world of Wall Street. But in terms of the actual size, like, okay, you could say, yeah, I see the cultural relevance. I see that people are excited about it. But what about market? What about the economy? How big is it? This is a big deal. Nvidia's earnings will test the S&P 500's $4 trillion recovery. We know from the start of August when the whole yen carry trade got a little bit sideways, yeah, we had a $4 trillion recovery, and a lot of it has to do with Nvidia. Just so you know, Nvidia is currently the world's second most valuable company. It's trading just above $3 trillion. This ain't no mom and pop shop. This is a legit business. In fact, it is so big. Check this out. It represents 6.3% of the entire S&P 500, and what's crazier than that is it represents 8.3% of the NASDAQ 100. So yes, it's gonna have a big impact. And specifically right now, it is trading around 128-ish right now, and really you should wait for market close. The expectation from Spot Gamma is about a 9% move. I was doing a deeper dive into the options market related to Nvidia. Check this out. On the screen, this is the next expiration. It's pretty calm. You can see the implied volatility, not the most high, but check this out. When you start to add in a few other ones of just like, oh, hey, like I want to know, I don't know, let's change the expiration. Let's look 2 days out. Let's add this in. You can see the volatility jumps up like no other. And let's remove that. And then if you go about like 9 days out, same thing. So there are huge expectations. Like you saw how all that moved up. That's just the implied volatility going through the roof. So what we're seeing is right after the earnings today, probably calm because no one knows what's going on. We're going to get it. Implied volatility is going to jump. And then after that, you're going to see it come right back down. That's known as volatility crush. So right now, as of the moment that I'm filming this, the expected move is 9%. And since we're talking about expectations, just because obviously it is important, for those of you who are curious, revenue in the realm of 29 billion. It depends on the source that you're looking for. Some have it a little bit higher, some have it a little less, but they are looking at a quarterly revenue of 29 billion, which would represent a 116% increase year over year. And in terms of EPS, roughly the line in the sand is 65 cents, which is a 134% increase year over year. So for both of those, they're looking for doubling up year over year, which is impressive in terms of expectations when we're talking about the world's second largest company. That's absolutely insane. So that's everything right now from the metrics of the revenue, the EPS, the expected move, what's going down, happening tonight. It is going to have a huge impact on the SPY and the Qs just because it represents such a large percent. And then you get the feedback loop. So if it's really good, things can get even better. If it's really bad, things could get even worse. Now on that second one, I want to let you know about this urgent warning that a massive Nvidia bull is giving out a warning related to Nvidia. I want to explain why he's saying what he's saying, but first, here's what he has to say.
You think the odds are skewed that Nvidia actually trades down on earnings? Why is that?
Well, you hit the pressure point right out of the gate there, and that is, of course, related to this Blackwell delay. Last quarter, Jensen Huang said that they're going to have a lot of Blackwell demand, a lot of Blackwell revenue, specifically in calendar 24, and I suspect that that's going to be modest revenue. We're talking about a 3-month delay, and ultimately I think that for investors who are just hyper-focused on every minute of what this company is doing, that could be viewed as a slight negative. Also keep in mind the stock is up 30% over the last 3 weeks. just shy of 5% of its all-time highs. And so there's just a ton of noise around the quarter, but I think this Blackwell piece is probably the most important X factor about the quarter. And so that's kind of why I think that the stock is going to trade down modestly, but I don't think that stock action should be representative of the opportunity in Nvidia over the next couple of years.
So let me explain exactly what he's talking about. Right now in earnings, there's going to be a lot of attention on two specific things. Number one, this is pretty obvious, is their nice sustained growth. That's obvious. That's what you want to see in every company. But number two is the Blackwell chip. Not too long ago, we got news and reports that it's delayed. How serious is the delay? Obviously, the investing community is like, whoa, how big is this? You talk to the company itself. They're like, dude, not that big of a deal at all. And then that's what Gene Munster's comments are about. Now, I want to clarify once again, he's clearly a long-term bull. He's just talking about in the short term, the immediate market reaction for people who quote unquote watch it from minute to minute to minute. If the Blackwell delay seems to be kind of serious, there might be an initial knee-jerk negative reaction. I like how he said it. He's like, hey, there's going to be noise. We know people react, but in the long term, it's not. He's an investor. There's a huge difference between being a trader and being an investor. As a trader, you're playing it in the short term. You're saying, this is where I think it goes either up or down in the minute, in the hour, today, this week. As an investor, he's like, yeah, okay, we're going to digest the earnings, but they like still the overall trajectory. I'm not saying one is right or wrong. I'm just saying it's important for you to know what you're doing. If you're an investor, yeah, pay attention to earnings. Maybe focus a little bit more on that sustained growth and be like, okay, this is where I see it going in the future. And when I say the future, I mean years out. As a trader, you're kind of flipping a coin. Either the Blackwell stuff is going to be an issue or it's not going to be an issue. So you're basically taking a 50-50 bet. Now, I do want to let you know, and this is what I was spending some time doing just before I let you go here. In terms of recent performance, I did a deep dive into the last 8 earnings reports for Nvidia. Out of the last 8, they went 8 for 8 in a revenue beat. They beat Wall Street's expectations when it comes to revenue, and the average, the median roughly, was about they were beating by 7%. Now, when it comes to EPS, earnings per share, once again, out of the last 8, they have beat on 7 of them. That's pretty good, 87.5%. And once again, 7 out of 8, and on average, they were beating by about 10%. Not bad at all. Once again, that was for EPS. So revenue, they beat 8 out of 8 times. EPS, they beat 7 out of 8 times. And probably what's going to be the most useful to all of you is what in the world did this stock do after earnings? Well, 75% of the time it went green. The median positive movement was 6.6%, and the average positive bullish green movement was 8%. Those are the numbers. That's the recent history. Obviously, we know the market doesn't perfectly repeat, but history doesn't repeat, but in the market, they say commonly rhymes, as in we see the general same sway. I know that Gene Munster is saying, hey, I think it's going to trade lower, and it has. 2 out of the 8 times it has traded lower, but the odds do favor the bull. So I just want to let you know how things have played out historically, the things to pay attention to right now for this particular earnings. And then also, I just want to let you know why one of the biggest Nvidia bulls had a little bit of a warning there, just saying, hey, these short-term traders might unfortunately overreact to the Blackwell stuff, not realizing that long-term, this is still a great bullish opportunity. That's everything you need to know. Good luck, because today, tomorrow, Nvidia is just so big. There's going to be some huge movements.